By the end of this video, you'll understand all of the documentation types that we use to create plan sets as professionals, from floor plans to internal elevations, shadow diagrams, details, sections, and more. Timestamps will be down below, so feel free to skip around. Just don't forget to hit subscribe if you're keen to see more of this kind of content. Now, when it comes to the floor plan, our floor plan is just a top-down view that allows us to see inside of the building from an aerial perspective. This helps us show the layout of the rooms and how they connect together. Now, we typically do these in 2D so that we can add measurements, also known as dimensions, to the floor plans so that we can show exact sizes, as well as text and labels to easily identify what each of the different rooms are. In ArchiCAD, over on this right-hand side, we've got the navigator. If we click on the project map and we double-click ground floor, this is typically where everything starts. So we've got a top-down view, which is our floor plan, but to get our side-on view, this is where we use elevations. So in the document panel, we'll be able to find the elevation tool. If we click on this, and in the workspace, if we click once and hold in shift, then click a second time, a little eyeball will show. We'll point it in the direction we want the elevation to look. We'll click once more. And with that, we've now got an elevation. So if we click on this marker, right click, open with current view settings, we can now create that side-on view and use the tools to create further documentation. Now, inside of a real project, it's actually quite rare that we'd create a new elevation marker because typically we've already got them set up and we just reorientate them so that they capture the side of the building that we want. I'm going to turn on the elevations layer, which is currently hidden because we don't typically show this on our floor plans, and go OK. We'll see all the elevation markers that have already been set up. And just like I mentioned before, we can actually grab these markers and drag them around, as well as rotate them when we need to. Now, when we created this new section marker, just below floor plans, we'll see elevation. And inside of here, you'll see S3, which if we zoom in on this marker, we've got S3 just here. So when we draw markers, they're going to show up over here in our project map. And likewise, when we delete them, which again is pretty rare, but if we delete the viewport, we'll go delete anyway, it's going to also disappear from over there as well. Just like our floor plans, using the navigator is the quickest way to accurately swap between each of these different views. Now that we've got the exterior covered of the building with the elevations, we also want to cut through the building as well with a section so that we can show the inner workings of the structure, and we want to be able to label this accordingly. Now, creating sections is very similar to elevations. Again, on this left-hand side, we've got the section tool. We can click once, we'll click in our workspace, we'll hold in shift, we'll click once more, and we can choose which direction. We'll click once more. And now we've also created that section, which will show up here as well. With sections, we're going to show a little bit more detail than we typically do on an elevation. We're typically going to reference to engineering, specific building materials, construction types, whether it's say a slab on the ground, or if it's a building with a subfloor, whether it's a truss roof or a traditional framed roof. This is where we show the inner workings. Now again, we don't typically draw new sections very often. We'll delete this one. We'll typically just take the one that we've already set up and we'll create a duplicate. So if we duplicate this one, we can say rotate this one into place. We can adjust the size to suit and then also relabel it as well, going up into its ID. And that way everything makes sense. So this means that all the section settings that we've already set up, like the marker head style, are going to stay consistent throughout our project. Now, very similar to elevations and sections, in the way that they're essentially just looking at the building from a point that we choose, is internal elevations. Now, interior elevations give us a look inside of rooms. So if we take a look at this bathroom, when we put in an internal elevation, essentially it's just a bunch of elevations that are pointing in each of the directions of the room. So it can give us an internal look at the bathroom from each of those views. So if we click on one of these lines, we go right click and open source view. This is going to take us directly to an inside view of the bathroom. Now to draw one of these from scratch, again, just over on this left-hand side, if we go to the interior elevation tool, click once. Now, if we zoom in on our bathroom, if we click the bottom left-hand corner all the way up to the top right, click once more. Then if we now drag our mouse inside, you'll see those little arrows pointing in the different directions. So if we drag these in and click once more, it's going to create that internal elevation marker. Now this one's a bit big because we haven't went into its settings and adjusted the marker size as well as the styling so that it better fits into that room. Once you set this up once, you'll typically just reuse it for other rooms, and just over on this right hand side in interior elevations, we'll typically just label it accordingly. And if we click this once more just here, we'll see each of those different elevations that if we say double click, it's going to bring us into that view. Now we can select a bunch of different styles to show our elevation just by right-clicking on the internal elevation and going to interior elevation setting. From here in the model appearance, we can change how this shows up on the plans when we're doing our documentation. And we can do this for pretty much all our different plan types. So if we go back into elevations, right click on our elevation and go to its settings, we can also change how it shows up as well, whether that's in black and white or with textures. This is where we can refine our drawings. Now, as we draw more and more elements in our plans, especially things say like windows, as well as doors, we'll typically want to create a list of those elements so we can easily reference them later, whether that's for ordering windows or doors, anything that we need to show quantity, size, and information about a collection of things inside of our project. And the way that we do this is typically by using schedules. So on the right hand side, almost right at the bottom, we'll find schedules. If we right click on elements, we can go to scheme settings. And this is where everything happens. We can select what we don't want to show up in the table, as well as the information that we want the table to tell us, from the opening height to the width, as well as areas and much more. If we go to add fields, there's a bunch of different information we can show, depending on the level of nuance that you need for your project. But this type of documentation can be incredibly powerful, not only just for windows and doors, but also for walls, slabs, roofs, any element you can think of. So we know that we're able to explore our model in 3D. But if we right click in our 3D, we can also capture a new 3D document from this 3D view. We'll go create, and from here it might look like much has changed. But if we now zoom in on our model, if we now go over to our label tool, we're actually able to label on the 3D document. But one of the more powerful ways that we can use the 3D document tool is by using it for shadow diagrams. So if we go back to our 3D, we then go to our projection settings and make sure that we're set it to a top-down view. We then create a new 3D document. We'd go create, and from here within our 3D documents, we'll find the 3D document that we just created inside of the project map. Inside here, if we right click and then go to 3D document settings, this is where we can change a bunch of the different settings so that we can get a really clear view of where the shadows are cast across the site. These are the settings that I've used. Feel free to copy them if you'd like. And then from here, we typically then place this onto our layout. So we'll go to our page, which is in our layout book. We'd rescale the 3D document and place it over the top of our site plan so that we get an accurate representation of where the shadows fall on the site at the right time of the year. Which again, if we go into 3D projections, we can change the actual sun position, which are typically needed for council submission, especially when we're doing buildings that are above 2 stories that might have significant shadows cast onto neighboring properties. Now, back in our floor plan, we've covered elevations as well as cutting sections, but inside of the sections, when we want to show extra detail, there's another tool that we use. So when we want to show something really zoomed in, on this left-hand side, we'll typically use the detail tool. So if we click on this one, and if we zoom in, just like all of our other tools, we start by clicking once, and then we drag our mouse over the area that we want to show the extra detail. If we click the second time, and then move our mouse just out into the open workspace, we'll click once more, and this will create a new type of document. So just over on our right-hand side, we'll see this little panel called details. Just like any other view, if we do select this and then right click in the open space and go open with current view settings, if we now pan across, this is going to show the area that we just captured. Now, the one really big difference to a typical elevation is that it's exploded all those elements into fills. Now, if we zoom in, this means that if we select these elements, we can now change and modify these fills without impacting the original drawing, which gives us a bit of flexibility when we're documenting inside of our plans. I've actually covered each of these documentation types in a lot of detail, step by step, in the beginners to advanced course, which needs absolutely zero experience. It's now available completely ad-free with all the project files, timestamps, transcript, the libraries, everything that you need. We've even got dedicated videos where we share insights from real-world plans that I've drawn as a professional, as well as tools that we use every single day. We're compressing and distilling a decade of in-field experience into the most compressed, easy-to-consume format. And right now, we've got a 1-week free trial that gets you instant access to every single tutorial file, as well as all the other resources. So go on and check it out.